Welcome into the PHNX Suns postgame show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Lindsey Smith, here with Saul Bookman and Espo. Gerald will be joining us here in just a few minutes. And guys, tonight we're hanging out in the VIP lounge because the Phoenix Suns got things done against the Golden State Warriors, winning 107-103. How you feeling after this one?
In an actual VIP lounge out at the Ainsworth. Great crowd out here tonight. I'm feeling great. Historic tying night.
Yes.
We'll celebrate another night. Historic night as this team ties the franchise record for wins. It's been fun tonight, but we got another hour for you out here, and that means you still got a chance to help out people at Ryan House as well tonight. So how you feeling, though?
Yeah, I mean, the crunch time Suns, baby, that's what they do.
It's the Bookman rule.
They just, listen, when you got CP3 and Book, you're ready to cook in the fourth quarter, baby. You're going to be all right.
All right, just a quick update for you guys. If you missed the pregame show, tonight we are collecting donations for Ryan House. So every super chat from this show is going to be donated to the Ryan House here in Phoenix. They do some really amazing work. They offer respite care and hospice care to children here in our community. So far, we have raised $340. Our goal is $500, which means we need $160 by the time this show ends. And Rach has gotten us started here in the post game with the $20 super chat.
Rach.
Thank you so much. So let's see if you guys keep that money
Another
rolling
one.
in.
Let's go Perplex
Damage.
again.
Thank you.
Hey, those two double dippers is what we call them.
Look,
yes.
like the Suns, let's blow past expectations, right? Suns were expected to win 52 by Vegas. They're at 62. We want 500. Let's get even further. Let's help these kids out.
Absolutely.
Yes, but 500, that's our minimum goal. So we got to get there. You guys help us out. We appreciate your support of the support we are trying to give to Ryan House. All right, gentlemen. Shall we start things off by going to the bar?
Let's go. Well, we're at the bar, but let's go to the bar and get a drink.
Let's grab a drink. Let's go. The Golden Gate Bridges. What's that all about, Espo?
Well, look, Mikal Bridges had one hell of a game out there, and without him, the Suns don't win. And they were playing Golden State, which is right there in San Francisco with the Golden Gate Bridge.
Absolutely.
If I have to explain that much about it, it was a crappy drink tonight.
That's true. That's true.
But it is on a pineapple, and I had a pineapple drink out here at the Ainsworth, and it was well worth it. So,
shout out to Code in the chat with the $50 super chat.
Thank you.
The highest one thus far with the comment, "Let's go Suns." So I think that deserves a little holler. Is that what we're calling it?
Oh, we're calling it the holler. All right. The Phoenix Suns are the best team in the NBA. Suck it, Warriors. Suck it, Clay. Suck it, Draymond.
It really wasn't
emphatic
that
when you
bad.
say suck it.
Is it a little too aggressive?
It's a little over the
aggressive.
top.
Especially when it's going out across a bar. It's a little
Echoes.
much. A little much.
For sure. But we did have a great time here at the bar. And if you don't mind, Lindsey, I'd like to give our last. We had a bunch of giveaways tonight, a lot of autographed photos that we handed out to 4 different individuals. But our luckiest winner of the night, and I truly believe the luckiest winner tonight.
The best for last.
Yeah, absolutely, is this young lady right here.
Come on up, take a seat.
You guys are terrible.
Now, do you know?
Go ahead, put on the headset.
You put on the headset.
Absolutely.
Welcome in.
Yes, absolutely.
There's your headset.
Oh, this is a whole production.
Yeah, so,
absolutely.
What's your name, young lady?
Oh, my name's Leah.
Nice to meet you, Leah.
Hi, everyone.
Leah, we have the best giveaway. We saved it for last. you get a copy of
I feel
the book
so bad for you right
with
now.
this
Oh,
pledge.
thanks, Lindsey.
But you may recognize who's on the cover.
I do.
It's one Lindsey Smith.
You know, I want to tell you something really interesting.
All right.
Where's my fiance? Come here.
Come on,
up.
No, he needs to
Come
come
on
too.
up.
This is Steven.
Hi, Steven. There
you go,
Steven's a big PHNX guy, and he was telling me, he was like, if we win anything tonight, it's going to be Lindsey's book.
And that, what, you know what?
Told you, Lindsey.
It's not just Lindsey's book, though. It's an autographed copy. As one Lindsey Smith.
Lindsey
autograph
legit
this for
sat
you.
here and was like, nobody wants my book. I was like, Lindsey, everybody wants your book.
We want Lindsey's book.
That's what I'm talking about,
You
baby.
guys are sweet baby angels. Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
us.
Oh, and that's going in the book. She's going to sign Sweet Baby Angel
And what
Leah.
we need to see when you get home, tweet us a picture
We will.
of the
Does it go on
esteemed
this
place
page
that you
or
put
this page?
this book, because it is very special.
We'll have to think about it.
I don't know what page to sign it on.
There's a lot of places.
Like Leah Merrill. Like that, Leah.
A great Leah to be named.
Yeah, we met tonight.
Do you eat your rice with ketchup though? That Leah eats your rice.
If I say yes, are you going to judge me?
no, I don't judge. They might, but I don't.
Okay, well, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
It's a mystery.
That's fair.
How
fair.
great were the vibes here tonight? Did you
It was
enjoy
great.
yourself?
It was incredible. I mean,
Awesome.
I'm an educator, so to support children and to be here for the kids was great.
Awesome. Yeah, we can't thank you guys enough for showing up tonight. So happy you guys won the book. Of all the people to win the book, you guys, oh man, that just warms my
Of all
heart.
the sweet baby angels.
I listen, I always try to hype up Lindsey and she never believes it, but it's true. Right here in pure form.
Right here.
Let's go.
Thank
You guys are just the kindest sports. I appreciate it.
Let me say this. If you want to be like Leah, if you drop $62 in the YouTube chat in honor of Win 62, I will send you a copy of Lindsey's book.
Well, I don't know if anybody can be like me, but
We'll try.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Leah. Thank you both for being out
Thank you
here.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
the best. Thank
yeah,
you so much.
have a good one, guys.
Enjoy your book. We're making dreams come true out here.
You guys are out of control.
I just want to say this. I fucking told you. I'm so hyped up about that.
Of control. I mean, bless their hearts, they gassed me up real nice, made me feel real special. So all I'm gonna say is thank you.
I felt that was all genuine. I don't think any of that was a lie.
Well, it was really kind.
We did pay them $100 to say
There you go. That was probably really smart on your part.
Hopefully they'll donate it back to the Ryan House.
All right, speaking of the Ryan House, so far,
Oh,
oh
man.
my God,
Oh, my
you
goodness.
guys. Perplex Damage coming in again with $20 in the super chat. Code $50 in the super chat. Sunder's Dunks again, $20 in the
go.
super chat. So says Jay, $100 in the super chat. Dawn with $40 in the super chat. Boosty with 19. Giselle coming in again with 20. You guys are amazing.
Yo,
like I
yo,
literally,
this warms my heart.
I know. I'm
Oh,
gonna
man.
cry.
I'm glad my legal fees have gone somewhere special. Thank you, so says Jay there. Look, I hate to bring down the vibes a little bit, right?
Oh,
but
Espo.
I have to right now, all right?
Andrew Martinez,
I-
100. No,
Well, no, that's a
not.
fake.
That's a fake one. Never
That's
mind.
fake. Nice try,
Come on,
Andrew.
Andrew. Be better than that. Let's
Andrew,
go, baby.
It's okay because we get it. Not everybody has money to donate
That's
right
true.
now, but we still appreciate.
But don't
the
con
support.
us.
By the way, people commenting that we look like twins. It was a complete accident, we promise.
Was it?
But
Was it?
I have to bring down the vibes.
Okay.
As a chief vibe officer, I hate to do this, but I'm going to do this right now. Can we cue the special in memoriam that we have for this evening?
What's
I'd
happening?
like to say a fond
Oh,
farewell
no.
to Devin Booker's MVP talk
no.
nationally today,
Oh,
as he went 5 for 21.
Oh,
I feel like this is too soon.
Devin, we loved your MVP
Oh,
talk nationally. We're sorry, but you were on ESPN tonight, and you know like hell they're not talking about you as an MVP candidate tomorrow.
You think?
Oh,
He
yeah.
went 5 for 21 on
He was not
ESPN.
good tonight.
Listen, I understand that, but all throughout the game,
man.
listen, Okay, all throughout the game, you had Richard Jefferson, you had Dave Pash talking about how good the Suns were.
Not Devin Booker.
No, there was a moment in time where I'm pretty sure we were listening to the Valley Sports broadcast, but I saw tweets saying they were bringing up the MVP conversation as well.
Yeah, they brought it up until tonight.
They brought it up and they said, and it's now Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid.
So
I love Devin, but
one bad game since the All-Star break, and it's done.
Yes, because it's the national media.
Well, not only that, national game, but it's also like Devin has to be peak Devin to pull this off. And he was already behind the 8 ball as it was. So, yeah, I tend to agree with my man Espo. I don't know if I agree with the dramatic fashion by which he went about it, but I do agree.
You guys
that was
suck.
so sad.
Of being accused of fueling Devin
You know what
Booker.
you what you should have done? You should have shown Michaela's graphic that I asked her to put up when the MVP graphic was ready to go. But no, she wanted to wait until he had a big game, and then he just blew it out of the water.
Look, I apologize. That's not my opinion.
All that money down the drain.
Stephen A. Smith and all the talking heads will be putting it to bed tomorrow. I just wanted to jump the gun and make it clear. So
Okay, but real quick before Gerald's here, everybody, but before we get to what Gerald had to say, speaking of national media, Bill Simmons, at least this is one positive, right? At the end of the game, so even after Devin's rough night, right? Classic Suns win, one of the best regular season crunch time teams I can remember, 62-14, and half of those wins were close in the final 5 minutes. So at least, listen, if you guys want to say Devin's MVP conversation is dead, whatever, at least people are still talking about the Suns. So we're progress?
regular season, sure. Finals MVP is still out there.
Oh yeah.
Gerald, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Did you see the in memoriam?
The in memoriam to Devin Booker's
Yes.
MVP campaign. I didn't get to see
Oh
it.
man.
Well, you're going to have to go back and watch because
Oh my God.
I'm going to need
we're not doing it
security
again.
leaving here tonight.
I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty classic. It's probably one of the better things I've seen on our show. For
I'll
sure.
have to go back and rewatch that.
What did Monty say after tonight's game?
Monty had one of probably the better quotes that I can remember from him in a while. He said, "I told the guys we can win pretty, we can win ugly, but the bottom line is we win." And
I like
that's a pretty boss quote from a guy who doesn't normally go down that road. But he was talking about just the way that they won ugly tonight. And he said that he showed DA because DA was down on himself for the way that he shot tonight. He was 7 for 17. And he showed him the stat sheet, but he hid the shots and the points. And he pointed him to the 16 rebounds that he said. And he told him, this is how you impacted winning tonight. It doesn't always have to be scoring. It can be different things. And when you do just things like this, and when you do the little things, you can still contribute to winning no matter how you're shooting. So I thought that was nice because, we looked at DA's game, we looked at Devin Booker's game tonight. They were mostly bad, but DA at least was bringing the defense, the rebounding, and he found a way to impact winning late in this one. So I thought that was another testament to the way that Monty finds the bad and turns it into something good, motivation, encouragement, whatever you want to call it.
I love that about Monty. I mean, that's definitely something we should all be focusing on trying to do because, look, you look at DeAndre, and sure, this was a rough game by his standards. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the box score at the end, obviously, we're just talking stats, right?
Right.
16 rebounds and 16 points, that's not a bad game.
No.
When you look at that, right? But for DeAndre and in his standards, what he has set for himself and what we are getting used to, he had a rough night.
He had the highest plus minus on the court for the Suns. He was plus 12.
He did.
Out there. He can. That's the thing with DeAndre. He can impact the game in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. And like you said, like Monty said, rebounding happened to be that tonight. What I didn't like about DeAndre's game tonight is he was back to pulling the ball low, not going up as strong, getting that hit away from him. When he's at his best, he's not doing that. He's going straight up with those hook shots. But that could be in part the defensive strategy that Golden State wasn't employing. They are very good at swiping those, knocking those balls away from guys. So
Right, and you got to give the Warriors defense credit. They're a top 5 defense for a reason. They're very good. Draymond was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate until he missed all those games. So that's a tough matchup for the Suns and for DA in general. But The other thing that came up was obviously Chris Paul, the way he took over down the stretch. Monty said, I've been in the league for 20 plus years and I've had like 6 different jobs. This guy's been in the league for 18 years, had the same job, always been a starter, and the way that he continues to just do this even this late in his career, I can't even speak to the level of excellence and work ethic it takes, from everything from practicing to changing his diet so that he can prolong his career and be this good this late in his career. So that was one thing. And then apparently the Suns were getting in some workouts after the game at the Warriors arena. And Monty said, our guys are chasing something. And when you're chasing something, you don't want to get to whatever you're chasing and not be ready. So this is something that we saw a lot of last year. We haven't seen it as much this year, but apparently they've been doing that behind the scenes after every single home game. And this team is just hungry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you think about it too, we've seen how prepared they are for the tough moments all throughout the season that were the tough moments from last season that they weren't prepared for, right? We saw games from last season where they got the L. This season in the same position, now they're getting the W. And it's paid dividends so much with this team, the amount of work they're putting in behind the scenes. And I'm so thankful that it's finally like that for them. And then selfishly for us too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fourth quarter in and of themselves is proof of that. This team is still undefeated when they go into a fourth quarter with a lead. Mm-hmm. Tonight was one of the toughest tests they've had of keeping that alive. They still took care of it. Chris Paul with an amazing bucket at the end. And I love that Monty fouls when you're up 3. Finally, a coach that understands, don't give him the opportunity to shoot that three-point basket.
Be careful. They fouled Draymond, which is the smart play. Like, that's the smart
foul
play.
Any of them.
Yeah, I mean, with 13 seconds left, Gerald and I were talking, we're like, but, if Clay's catching it as he's turning, you run that risk. When they designed the defense so Draymond could get that ball, that was perfectly executed.
Yeah, but if you don't foul at that 13-second mark, Jordan Poole ain't heaving that half court thinking you're going to foul him with time left on the clock. So it's kind of a mind game there, too.
But shout out to Devin Booker for the acting on that, too. Mm-hmm. He made him feel like it was happening.
I'm hacking you
right now. And then all of a sudden, Jordan Poole was just out there, flapping around, splashing around, you know what I mean?
Wrong kind of splash brother there tonight there, Jordan.
Absolutely.
That was for Shane, by the way. He really wanted me to say that Jordan Poole was out there splashing around.
Okay. Well, don't encourage Shane, all right?
Why not? It was fun. Anything else, Gerald, from Monty that really stood out to you?
He was asked about the high free throw totals, and he said that was a point of emphasis, is telling them to keep attacking. I think they were shooting 25% from 3 at that point. So this was one of the rare games where the Suns actually got to the free throw line more than their opponent for the majority of the night. So that's encouraging heading into the playoffs, because that's been one of their biggest weaknesses, is getting drastically outshot from the free throw line. So against a good defense like the Warriors that plays you up close, plays you physical, it was good to see them turn those into free throws. And that was part of the reason Devin Booker wound up with 20-some points, was because he got to the foul line so much.
All right, we're going to take a quick break because we got some flowers to hand out to our Code Crazies. Code in the chat with $100 super chat in honor of Andrew.
Hell yeah.
We got Mike B with a $25 super chat. He said, thank you guys for doing God's work for the kiddos. PHNX is Phoenix MVPs. MCG Blue with the $50.
Let's go, baby.
Thank you for supporting a worthy cause. Taboo Tidbits with another super chat. Said voting for regular season awards were submitted today. Hope Book makes all NBA. Feel like it'll be Luka and Book or Ja. And then, so you guys, real quick, I did the math in my calculator real quick. At the top of the show, I was going to say in my head, but that's a lie.
On my calculator.
I was like, wait a minute.
Lindsey
I just saw you do this right here on your phone.
When she said she was doing it on her phone, one of our producers is texting her.
No, I really did.
She actually did.
It's
funny because she did the tally and then she forgot about the initial portion.
Gotcha.
And I was like, please don't say that number because it's more than that.
No. But at the top of the show, we said, okay, we came in here having raised $340 already. At the top of the show, we said our goal was $500. In this show alone, we've raised $500.
So we're at
awesome.
840.
In 15 minutes. Yeah, so we're at 840 now. The new goal is $1,000.
Let's get to 1,000.
That's
Go to
amazing.
1,000, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we can do it. We can absolutely do it. And I just,
Hey,
real quick.
You know what? I'm going to put my money
put
where
some
my
money
mouth
out,
is.
Saul.
Let's go. Let's go. You know what?
Make sure he doesn't take out the
Let's go.
corporate card.
Let's go. There's 20.
Okay, let me add this to the thing here.
There's 30.
Okay.
You're going to get us to 1,000
There's
out
40.
of this?
I was going to say, I'm going to contribute,
There's
but I'm a
50.
broke boy. Like, you got to
There's
slow
70.
down.
There's 70. That's everything in my wallet right there. $75 right there.
Okay.
There we
I
go.
don't have a wall. I don't have pockets like you guys, so I
Here,
can't do anything.
Throw the credit card down.
no,
I'll
no.
match Bookman.
You got to do that in
I'll
the
do it in
super
the
chat,
chat.
guy. What's wrong with
I'll
you?
match
20.
it. What'd
There's
you
20.
say?
There we go.
What'd you say, Saul?
75?
75. I'll match it.
This is
75?
this is 95 right here.
So with our contributions, and then I will also contribute
Yes.
as well, but I don't have pockets, so I can't just pull money out. We are over $1,000. So
Let's go.
I just want to
do
say one more time from the bottom of our hearts, thank you guys so much.
Got another one,
This
too.
means more than you ever will understand. And then we've got another one, ADZ, not from AZ, with another $50 super chat.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
and the fabulous Michaela Perkins is holding that cash around. So if you see her around City, you better leave her alone.
Just donated $100.
What was that?
Emma just donated $100.
Oh my gosh,
Emma.
Our
just showed
intern
up
Emma
with
just donated $100.
$100
Just matched all
Look
of
at
our
that. Rach with
donations.
another 20.
Rach
Let's
with
go.
Rach, you've dropped like
The
5
MVP.
super
Let's go.
chats here tonight. You guys are the best.
Absolutely.
I just love you guys
I feel
so
like we're
much.
overpaying the interns if they can out-donate us.
Well, then that means you guys
worry.
better step up your game. That's all I'm
There.
saying.
Yeah,
My super
Gerald.
chat should come in. I had to update the credit card, so
Okay.
live on air.
There you go, Greg Esposito in the super chat, $75.
There we go.
Look at you
Nice.
go, Espo.
The tweet in there, or the message in there is great, too.
Oh,
so-
Espo is amazing.
Yeah, there we go. Just needed to pay I needed to pay to get Lindsey to finally say that on the
Oh
show.
my
so-
gosh.
Listen, you can
$75
convince
well
me
spent.
for a lot of. If it's going to Ryan House, I got you. We could do these things. The Warg of Wall Street's with a $20 said ring or bust. Absolutely agree. This season we got to go all out. It's got to be trophy or we. It was just for nothing. It feels like, which
feel-
I won't say that at the end if it happens, but right now.
I feel like these super chats are kind of like an Anchorman, where Ron Burgundy will read anything that's said.
I mean,
Just saying.
is he lying?
Well, I mean, after the
Earn some
Warriors
energy
game,
money.
go fuck yourself, San Francisco.
Gerald just said that to a bar full of people as well.
I just want to hear Lindsey Smith say that. And my name is Lindsey Smith.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we're off the rails. Sorry about that.
We are. But it's all for a good cause, because the reason we went off the rails in the first place is because we raised so much money for Ryan House. Thanks to all of you. Bees with the super chat as well. We appreciate you guys. So let's get it back on track now. Let's go down and name our draft king of the game. Tonight we've got quite a few of them, to be completely honest with you, because we had a lot of people show up for our watch party here at the Ainsworth. We had a lot of people show up virtually to join us tonight. So right now, the draft king of the game is everybody who helps make this community what it is.
I'm pretty sure I didn't see Mikal tonight, but that's cool. That's cool.
That's actual size. For those on the audio edition, we're showing the King of the Game image, and it's everybody out at the Ainsworth with a 23-foot tall Mikal Bridges with a crown on. So, yeah, check that out on the YouTube if you're listening on audio. It's worth it.
And
Shout
then-
out to intern Emma for that one.
Intern
yes.
Emma for that one. And then we photoshopped Mikal Bridges into that photo of all of us out here at the Ainsworth, because Mikal Bridges is the real draft king of the game. He kept this team afloat when nobody else really was. Mikal Bridges finished with 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. He really had a good night.
Yeah, he really did. And without him, I mean, at one point, I think they were 12 of like 38 without his shooting. It was pretty abysmal. out there this evening. But, man, he came up big, and he continues to. I mean, we talked about if you get offensive consistency from Mikal Bridges, literally the sky's the limit for this team. And you've started to see that. 22 tonight on 8 of 14 shooting. He adds in those 7 rebounds, and, you add in the defense. This guy's making a huge impact on the best team in the NBA. Couldn't be more excited for him. And this is all, again, with Cam Johnson out, too. When those two play together and they both play the way they can, look out.
Huge. Yeah, I mean, listen, his defense was fantastic tonight. Made a couple nice steals. Offensively, he just paced them. Like if Mikal's not playing tonight, they lose this game.
Yeah.
And by a pretty big margin.
Yes.
So he continues to develop. He continues to grow into this game and into this team, and more importantly, assert himself in key opportunities when he sees it in front of him and doesn't hesitate anymore. DA is doing the same thing, and I know DA didn't play great tonight, but same thing. He got the ball, didn't hesitate several times. It just wasn't falling tonight. Same thing, Devin Booker does that every single night. Wasn't falling for him, but good teams always find a way to win. And when you have guys that have the DNA that Mikal Bridges has, you're always going to be in good shape.
This is what we saw from Mikal Bridges tonight, what we've seen from DA since the All-Star break. Those are the things that are going to make all the difference in the world come playoff time, because they could not consistently turn to either one of those on the offensive end last year. It was mostly the Booker and Chris Paul show, especially when defenses honed in on them. This year you can't do that because they have guys that will pick you apart, and Cam Johnson's part of that too. Like, they have so many weapons they can throw at you. They can win ugly, they can win pretty. Offensively, defensively, this team is just like an amoeba in the way that it can just shift shapes to whatever it needs to be on a given night.
Well, and it's nice to be able to know that when Devin has a really bad night, this team's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because it has so many people behind him and behind Chris Paul that can step up any different day.
Again,
you can rely on so many different pieces.
Lessons learned from last year's playoffs. You knew you need to be deeper if you're going to have a chance. They rectified that. This is a very, very deep team. Also, congratulations to Gerald for being the first NBA podcaster to ever use the phrase amoeba on one of these shows. So
I'm riding high tonight. My girlfriend is real, it turns out, so this is a great night for me.
And you worked amoeba into a show, which you won a $20 bet from somebody, I'm sure. So congratulations.
Did Shane convince you to say something on the show, too?
He did not, no.
To be fair, I got to give Shane a little bit of love because he donated $50 for me to say that. So,
Can I know we don't tend to do this, but can I give some flowers to an opponent tonight?
Yes, that's okay.
Jordan Poole. I mean, we talk about Mikal being why the Suns were in this game. Jordan Poole's the only reason that the Warriors almost beat the Suns tonight. He dropped 38 on 11 of 20 shooting, including 7 of 15 from behind the arc tonight, had 9 rebounds and 7 assists. He did everything for the Warriors, and his one mistake was that awful half-court heave there at the end, down 3. But that's a guy that you got to watch for the future out here in the West. A lot of great offense from him tonight.
It was interesting because I actually asked Monty about Jordan Poole before the game because he's been their leading scorer hands down since Steph Curry went out. And he called him one of the highest scorers in the NBA when he has that kind of opportunity, and he did play the Steph Curry role tonight. So that's definitely a guy that they'll have to watch out for if they meet this team in the playoffs. But it's also a situation where, okay, if Steph Curry's out there, it just changes the whole dynamic to where Poole might not be. He's not going to be this Poole that we see tonight, but he is a contingency they have to plan for.
But I mean, the fact that they were able to draft him is amazing in and of itself, right? Because same thing that we're seeing on our side of things, being able to draft players and build them up through your program pays far more dividends, I think, than trading for a superstar sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the fact that, let's be honest, Steph is getting towards the end of his career. They have another Steph basically waiting in the sidelines, or a Steph-esque type of guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, Steph is one of a kind in and of his own. But they have somebody who can kind of at least sort of fill those shoes when Steph's on his way out.
Yeah, I'm not giving flowers to the opposing team. I'd rather give some more flowers to the chat because I don't give a shit about the Warriors. The Warriors are not the Suns, and they never will be the Suns.
They used
I want to
be
give
the
some more
Suns,
flowers
be
to the
fair.
chat because somebody just came off the screen. He had $20 donation.
We have a couple. So says Jay donated another $100, so he's up to $200 now because he said, "I'm not getting out donated by an intern. No offense."
I am paying too much in legal fees.
Totally understand that. Giselle dropped another super chat as well, donating another $10, and then BD donated $50 and said, "I'm Jacob Franklin's biggest fan. Go, Jacob."
Jacob
Who's
triumphantly
BD?
raising his fist.
Oh, Brett Deckard, there you go. Brett Deckard, he's actually a colleague of ours.
Okay.
He's a Bally Sports guy, so appreciate the shout out.
Is that legally allowed?
I don't give a shit if it is or not. He's watching our show, right?
He's Jacob's biggest fan.
Because we're the best post game out there. Let's go.
All right,
Sorry, Brett. I hope you don't get in trouble tomorrow.
we really appreciate you guys dropping some money in our chat, all going to Ryan House. But if you would like to drop some money in order to maybe make some money, you can do so on the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Just download that app, and during the biggest tournament of the year in college hoops with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can turn your team's victory into your own big win. So new customers who download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use that promo code PHNX can bet
What was that again?
PHNX.
All right.
That's right.
That's a good one.
PHNX. If you just bet $5 on any team to win, and they do, you're going to get $200 in free bets instantly.
$5 for 200?
That's what I'm saying.
That's a lot.
But then imagine what you could do with that $200 free dollars in terms of putting it back into the bets and then making even more.
You could give 5 of it to a friend to sign up using PHNX, and they get 200. You could turn it into like some Ponzi scheme.
You could. I mean, it's Ponzi scheme.
Look, I'm just thinking, how can we make some money?
I mean, you're not
Let's do
wrong.
it.
There's a lot of ways you could get on board with this one.
I'm sure they're not happy I just suggested that, but let's not tell anybody.
Oh, God. But yeah, so if you'd like to win some money, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code PHNX. Bet just $5 on any college hoops team to win their game, and if they do, you're going to get $200 in free bets instantly. If you are already a current customer of DraftKings Sportsbook, you can also bet on college hoops with same-game parlays. So the more legs you add, the more money you can win there as well. Just a reminder, that is 21 and older only, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only, minimum $5 minimum deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
Do we need to make a pick of the week? Should we do that tonight?
Yeah, we can.
We have the rest of the week. Why rush
What?
it today?
Well,
What are we going to talk about tomorrow?
Maybe he's got a pick of the week.
No, do you have a pick of the week?
Well, I do have a pick of the week.
Go ahead.
I just blanked on it, though.
Oh, God.
No, give me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding. Give me UNC and Villanova to make it to the title game in the NCAA tournament, and then we can get another Mikal and Cam Johnson bet.
Ooh.
That's what I want to see.
mean-
That's my
Ooh.
DraftKings pick of the week. I think it's gonna be more than a lemonade stand this time if they're two colleges face. That's all I'm saying. So.
I hope they do something. If that happens, I hope they do another
Oh,
thing.
God, please.
sure
I
they
hope you do
will.
another lemonade stand where all the money goes to charity.
It's not going to be a lemonade stand. Maybe they'll have to shave
I
something.
just want it to be organic. I just want it to be organic. There's nothing wrong with that.
And speaking of organic, if you want to donate to the Ryan House, hit us up in the chat right now.
100% of these proceeds are going to the Ryan House, baby.
And MCG Blue, no, I didn't say a Fonzie scheme. Hey, all right? Hey.
Okay, so I know we kind of touched on this off the top, but I feel like we need to give it a little bit more space, right?
Yep.
A little bit more of our attention. 62 wins tonight for the Phoenix Suns, tying a franchise record for wins in a season. The last time they did that was the 04-05 season. Before that, the 92-93 season. We have a handful of games left to go in the regular season, and you know the Suns are going to win a handful of games the rest of the way as well. I love so much, we talked about this in the pregame show, I love so much that this team is forever, or for a very long time, most likely at least, going to have that number one spot in the franchise record books.
Yeah.
This team is so special, and it's so much fun to watch, and I know we've been saying this so many times, but I just want everyone to remember like we talked about it pregame, Gerald said the third fastest turnaround from worst team to best team in NBA history. Like this is not something that happens very often, let alone to Arizona teams.
Yeah.
Like as Arizona fans, we've all had our fair share of letdowns and heartbreaks. We got to enjoy this while it's happening.
You know, one of the things I just want to, I know you were about to say something, Espo, and I don't mean to cut you off, but one of the things that I feel like we've been lacking here in the Valley is the confidence that we are good enough. Like, because we've had our heart broken so much, you know.
Yeah.
If you all remember back at the early part of the season, I used to try and talk Espo off the ledge so many times about, like, because he legit has been through a lot of the heartache and the pain of being an Arizona sports fan. And part of why we even started doing this at PHNX is to change that narrative. It really is. Because at the end of the day, even if we have our hearts ripped out, you get to celebrate it, or not celebrate it, but at least the misery has a lot of company,
but
right?
you also get to celebrate throughout the season.
Exactly, and enjoy it. And I think we got to about halfway through the season where I feel like that kind of turned, where everybody was like, they stopped waiting for the sky to fall or the bottom to drop out, and they just, you know what? This is a good team, and I enjoy this right now.
Let me say thank you for starting a company to basically create group therapy for me. First and foremost.
Yeah, thank Brandon. Brandon's bound.
Wait. This is now therapy? I need to get paid way more. I'm not on a therapist level.
Wait, I didn't say you were the therapist.
There's no way you're the therapist.
I didn't say you were the therapist.
Listen, like if this is group therapy.
We all are acting as therapists for each other.
I thought you were like the lead therapist. I was like, oh my God, the one that would rip your throat out first is the lead? What?
No, if it's group therapy, then we all act as therapists just on different days of the week.
That's fair. That is fair.
Keep going.
Well, then we should get paid more than you, because your window is like from 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's it.
Hey, on game nights it's a bigger window.
Okay, you're right. You're right. All right, my bad.
She's like, what is it, Lucy in the Peanuts, where she's got the little stand and the doctor's in? You gotta hope you hit the right time that the doctor's in, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna get into my own psychosis. There's a lot of reasons why I get the way I do, but I don't feel that way this year, right? I've gotten past it. You're right. There was a point in the season where you go, no, this is something different. Yeah. This is a beast we've never seen. This is the kind of team that can change all that perspective. And I'm excited for where we're going. Look, it's going to be a rough road, because that's the playoffs. There's going to be a difficult matchup in each of, hopefully, the 4 rounds you go through. Yep. But if you're going to win a title, you're going to have to do that anyways. My only hope is, and I said it on Twitter and I took a lot of crap, I don't want the Clippers in round 1, not because I fear that they can beat the Suns, that I fear that it's a physical matchup that could go 6 games in that first round and could impact your stamina or potentially who's available for those subsequent rounds. And I don't want that in round 1.
Sure.
I'd rather save that for later and get a matchup that's better.
Well,
at the beginning.
your only hope to avoid that is that the Clippers win that first game,
exactly,
that 7-8 matchup, and go to the 7 seed.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we're getting the Clippers in the first round. And you just saw what they did last night with Paul George coming back from 31 or something like that down, and he had 34. So I get that sentiment. Listen. You might play the Clippers, Warriors, Grizz to get back to the finals. Yeah. That's a brutal haul no matter what. But then you got to look at it from everybody else's perspective. You know, the Grizzlies have got to get through just a banger as well. Like, everybody's got to go through some really, really hard roads to get back to the finals. I trust this team far more than any of those other ones, because they're just that damn good.
It sucks, because you look at the path in the East, and it's going to be easier. It just is, because
to a certain point.
Yeah, it's if the Nets are the Nets. Yeah, it depends. There's a lot of ifs in the Eastern Conference. Whoever comes out of the West, Phoenix, it's gonna be a slog to get to that finals.
Yeah.
So we got another $100 super chat,
wow.
And I'm so sorry if I mispronounced this name.
Harankati.
That's what I was going for. They said, I finally get to catch you guys live. Love you all. We love you back. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
So you guys kind of mentioned, Clippers, Grizzlies. We've got Timberwolves in the mix. Now that Paul George is back for the Clippers, have we changed our minds? Because didn't we do this the other day? Throw out a name of a team that we might see in the first round, and how do we feel? Have we changed our minds when we throw out the team Clippers now?
Not with just Paul George, but I think there's a chance that Kawhi Leonard's been playing possum, that he's been much healthier than he's let on, and he, load management, just wants to wait till the playoffs. That changes things. I get, he hasn't played in a while. I don't care. It's Kawhi freaking Leonard. We saw him carry Toronto by himself to a championship. That scares me in and of itself.
I think it would have scared me if I knew he was playing and he was at peak condition. I will say this. I said this about this team this whole season, is that when other teams have been injured, like Denver, always talking about, Jamal Murray, if he wasn't hurt, or MPJ, like, okay, cool. Meanwhile, the Suns have had a core group of guys that have developed over the course of the season and have grown, and their games have gone up. Mikal Bridges, D.A., Cam Johnson, just to name three, their level has gone up. So the same Clippers team that played with Kawhi last year before he got injured against the Suns is not going to be the same one that you see here in the future. And on top of that, like, chemistry is a real thing. And chemistry when you're playing the Suns is even more of a real thing. You've got to be on your A game to compete against the Phoenix Suns. Otherwise, you're going to lose. And so I'm not, for that reason, I'm not so concerned about the Clippers. I'm not saying it couldn't go 6 or 7 games, but I still think that Phoenix ends up out executing them.
For both of you, if Kawhi does come back, and Kawhi and Paul George sat out for much of that second half of the season and come back and seem like they've been perfectly healthy for a while, which Paul George looked like on Tuesday night, I think the Suns are playing for the soul of the NBA at that point, because you could wind up in a situation where that becomes the blueprint. Tread water, just get into the playoffs, and then bring your superstars well-rested into the fold. And you can't tell me that other teams wouldn't do that, because it's a copycat league. I think you're fighting for the soul of the league at that point. Well, it's a team that played the right way, did everything they were supposed to, against a team that's cutting corners at that point, and it'll be interesting.
Well, I also think that at some point you're going to see independent medical evaluations come down the road, because you're right. Team medical staffs, if they're told, like, hey, Kawhi's still injured, okay? Like, that's just not fair. It's just not fair. You get to the playoffs and all of a sudden this guy's ready to go. That's just an unlevel playing field. And I'm sure Adam Silver would address that the way he addressed the load management stuff already. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, not only that, but now we're talking, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I would hope that it was never actually that case, because not only would I be disappointed if the league ever got to that point, that would be so disappointing, but individual players, right? You're going to tell me that you make all this money, and rightfully so. I have no problem with athletes making the amount of money that they make. I think a lot of them should be making more. But people show up, people pay to come to games to see you. And you're choosing, despite knowing how much you mean to these fans, how much they pay, and the fact that especially in this economy, trying to go to a game of a team that's good, and you're going to sit out the whole regular season and only play the playoffs? Like, I would be disappointed in the individual player if it was genuinely that was the situation, and you just chose to sit majority of the regular season just because you didn't feel like playing. I would be so disappointed.
It's LA, and what are you going to get punished with likely? Fines. Steve Ballmer does not give a crap about how much money you fine him.
Well, then the fines need to be really high.
I agree, but that's why. Good versus evil. If
and
it's
the
Clippers,
fines
Lakers,
need to go back to the people who paid tickets all season to see these guys.
Believe me, and especially if you're paying LA prices to see a team. I'm looking at this, and that's a storyline that if they wind up playing each other and that situation plays out, I think this is very much what the NBA needs in the Suns versus what the NBA needs to be worried about in the future.
Yep.
Hi, Gerald. Welcome
back. How's it going? We're talking Clippers, I'm assuming.
We were talking doom and gloom, so don't worry.
Doom and gloom.
Yeah. You're always back to bring it back.
Though? Now that Paul George is back and if Kawhi comes back, how would you be feeling playoff-wise?
Look, I'm not going to pretend like I know Kawhi Leonard's medical situation. I know Paul George took his time coming back, but he wanted to make sure he was perfectly healthy. I do think that it's bad for the league if a team like the Clippers, if a team like the Nets, who has a guy who played half the games this season, if they go far in the playoffs, because it basically means that the regular season, all this continuity, all this great stuff that we talk about the Suns having and teams like that having, and the regular season mattering, it doesn't matter as much if you can just rest a guy, or if a guy spends the whole season out, they come back and they just win on star talent alone, especially in big markets like Brooklyn, like LA. Like that could be the worst case scenario for the league, because then what's the point of even watching all of this regular season stuff? So I think it will matter for both of those teams, but I would very much not like to see either one of those teams.
But at least with Kyrie, you know what the situation is, and you got to say it for what it is. It was out of his hands in his own state. Now, whether he should have gotten the shot is another argument, but the state kind of dictated what was going to happen with him specifically, and we all knew that, right? We knew he was healthy enough to play. Right. He just wanted, and because of that, we knew like he wasn't just not getting the shot because he just wanted to load manage. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Wow.
So get the fuck out of here. I'm not even talking about that right now. Whereas with Kawhi and Paul George, well, Paul George is back, cool, but like, how early could he have come back? Right. How early could Kawhi have come back? If Kawhi comes back game one of the playoffs, fuck that.
Yeah. Then you know something probably, or at least it appears that something was up.
Oh, this timing is miraculous. Look at this.
Like what a coincidence. He's healthy just for game one of the, like, again, I'm not going to pretend to know his medical situation. He's been very secretive and very cautious when it comes to that stuff. But, like, yeah, fuck that. Like, I don't want to.
I would be so disappointed.
I'll pretend. I stayed at Holiday Inn last night. I'm a doctor. I assume it's going to happen. The Suns are the Avengers in this situation, all right?
I'd be okay with that.
All right, so who'd you get to talk to, Gerald?
Yeah, so we talked to Chris Paul, we talked to Devin Booker, and we talked to Mikal Bridges tonight.
I vote start with Mikal.
Start with Mikal? Okay.
He had the best game.
Yeah, I mean, Mikal is notoriously short.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say. He's just short with his speech when he talks to us. But he was asked about the Suns getting in a workout after a grueling game like this, especially in a game where he played 41 minutes, and he said, keep doing what we're doing, especially now there's no time to relax. So this team knows that it wasn't the prettiest game that they had, and I think that they always just find something to be motivated. Like, after playing 41 minutes, I would be tired. I want to go home. Like, I'm tired after, like, flying out to watch them play and writing about it. I want to go home, but these guys are getting workouts, and they're...
I mean, at least you gave yourself flying. I was going to be like, I'm tired after waking up.
They're sickos, man. That's the term that Devin Booker and Chris Paul used in that one video. They're sickos. But, and I think he said, when asked what does this mean to the Suns getting to 62 wins, he said it means a lot, but it means a lot because of the guys in their organization, the players, the coaches, just this entire organization is one tight-knit unit. And that type of thing you love to hear as a Suns fans, because we've been watching this team, all the dysfunction, all of the people leaving Phoenix and talking crap about the team after they left, the turnover in the front office, on the coaching staff, like, it is really nice to look at this team and be like, yeah, they have stability, they have cohesion, they have all of these things that matter in the long run for once.
Any additional thoughts, guys?
I think that sums up.
That's kind of how we're feeling,
we should.
Like, finally.
If they find the little things as motivation, we should clip that in memoriam, and maybe we can get a 60
for sure.
at a book.
I would like to say one thing about the Warriors, but can I take my shot now?
Sure, we can do that.
Did I go out of Did I go out of order?
A little bit, but it's okay. It's time to take your shot. Presented by Arizona Department of Health Services. COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you.
EJ mentioned earlier that when the two teams were at their peak, it was kind of a dogfight, a knockdown, drag it out kind of game. And I truly believe if Steph comes back and both teams are healthy, it's going to be a similar kind of situation where it's not going to be an easy 6 or 7 game series. But the Warriors, I still believe, are the Suns' biggest threat in the West, and they kind of showed that tonight.
Yeah.
I just feel like they have all the tools to be able to compete, the shooting, the defense, and with Draymond on that side, he's just such an annoyance, and you can see the impact he has, not only physically but verbally in the game, and kind of gets under the skin of a lot of players. They're going to be a handful. So.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you. Go ahead and continue, Gerald.
So we also talked to Chris Paul, Devin Booker. Chris Paul, obviously he played on that Houston Rockets team that won, I think, 65 games. So he's been in this territory before. His big thing was saying, obviously, I would want to win a championship this time around to go with that. But, it doesn't diminish what we've done to this point. And I think this season has meant so much more to him than even that 65-win season, not only because they came up short, but because he actually enjoys playing with this group of guys. He was talking about how after, you play on certain teams and you look at guys around the league and you're like, oh, yeah, I played with that guy. But this group, he brought up how close they are still with Javon Carter, who's gone, how excited they were when Torrey Craig came back. And then he made a joke because Mikal Bridges was waiting to come up to the podium. He said, except Mikal Bridges, I don't like that guy. He's a horrible human being. So just the closeness of this group, I think, shouldn't be lost on anyone. We've talked about it so much this year, but it's not a cliche in this case. It is the case where their chemistry off the court translates to on the court, and because they're brothers, they're able to hold each other accountable in that way.
How much does that speak to the evolution of Chris Paul, though? Because all we heard the years before this was how tough of a teammate he is to have, what he's like to deal with, how teammates wind up disliking him. That doesn't seem like it's the case at all here in Phoenix. It feels like these guys truly love each other, that they embrace the way he approaches things, and it's part of their mentality.
I have a question about that.
I just saw a wicked-ass dunk by Davion Mitchell against the Rockets, and I lost it. Sorry.
I thought you just didn't like what I was saying about Chris Paul.
No. I agree with you about Chris Paul. And the reason why is because he has Monty Williams. And both of those guys were together, effed it all up, split, and then things just kind of got haywire. And then obviously Chris Paul goes to Houston, and he has to play with a prima donna in James Harden. And Houston took James Harden's side, and that's where they screwed up, because Chris Paul is the stable force in that entire organization at that point. He comes over here to Phoenix, everybody kind of learns from their mistakes and says, hey, you know what, this is kind of a refresh, a start over, let's get this right, and everybody buys into each other. And Chris Paul learns, listen, we all grow as human beings, as leaders, as followers, like we all learn from our mistakes. We try to hear our counterparts and what they have to say to us in terms of how we treat them and how they like to be treated, and we learn. And I think Chris Paul definitely did that, and with Monty in the fold and his experience and those two working together, Chris Paul could not have found himself in a better situation in the league. This is the perfect place at the perfect time, and we're just fortunate to have him.
And you touched on something there that I think is part of it as well. Like, Chris Paul has definitely grown. Monty being a part of that is huge. But as far as being in the perfect situation, I think we've got to give a ton of credit, not just to Devin Booker being kind of like the key attractive piece that he wanted to play with, but the way that the younger guys, DeAndre Ayton especially, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, responded to that type of leadership that some players view as abrasive. You look around the league and some of the big guys he's been with, some of the star teammates he's had, they didn't always take kindly to it, but this young group was like, yes, like, we're going to do what you say. We're going to learn from you because you are a winner. You've proven you can win in this league, and that's what we want. And it's a lot easier to want those things when you're, winning 19 to 21 games a season. But the way that they were able to take that leadership style and run with it and bond from it, like, that's pretty incredible for everyone involved.
I wonder if it softened Chris Paul's leadership a little bit as well.
Maybe, because my biggest question was, do you really think it's fully Chris Paul, or do you really think it's the teammates that were around him? So maybe to your point, it was a little bit of both, right?
Yeah.
That the players accepted it more, and then Espo, like you said, because maybe of how open they were, Chris Paul was like, oh, maybe I don't need to be too harsh.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he has to impose his will because these guys buy into the
Right.
system, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a large part of it as well. Is this is just the perfect marriage of two things here.
Bro, when you got to play with guys like Shaq Harrison, like for a season, or all these other bums that they had to roll out and play with, like, dude, like, nah, like Isaiah Canaan, like, dude, I appreciate you, Chris Paul. Like, and listen, Ricky Rubio came in here and showed you, hey, this is a glimpse of what a really good point guard can do for you, and they bought in.
Yeah.
And then they went to a whole nother level with Chris Paul. And I think, man, I remember guys. Remember the argument about how much of a difference can Chris Paul make over Ricky Rubio?
Yes.
Remember that stupid argument? And now we're sitting here, we're like, oh my gosh, what were we thinking? Well, not we, people out there.
Look,
I was never on that board.
I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think Ricky Rubio was point Jesus, right?
Now they got
To-
point
to the
graduated to point
to the
guard.
point guard.
I do understand what you're saying, though.
I just meant from the hair.
Ricky.
The hair. I'll
The
give you the
hair.
He
hair.
was
Sure.
a beautiful guy. Yeah, he was a beautiful man.
But
I
Ricky
do like you, Ricky Rubio.
Did help showcase a little bit more of what Devin can do with
Yeah.
a legitimate point guard. So maybe it was just like a glimpse. But we can give him a flower for that, for sure. We give him a couple flowers just for the hair alone. We also have some flowers to give out to some of the people in the chat. Patrick, thank you for the super chat. They said, here are some Australian dollars, which I'm told are still able to help Ryan House, Arizona. Thank you, PHNX, for being incredible humans. Sending my virtual high fives to each of you from Sydney.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Patrick.
We
International
also,
donations. Are
we also have a super chat from Espo's Better Half.
Hells yeah.
Tracy,
All right.
with
Let's
the
go,
$100
Tracy.
super chat said, this is Espo's in-house editor. Correction, Mrs. Espo is amazing.
Well, that is true.
This is true.
And I am contractually obligated to say that as well in a marriage contract. Saul, can I get a raise so I can up my wife in the chat? I can't afford it otherwise. No, all right.
And then Sly
she
has
wins
a
then.
super chat for us, and it says, it has a whole bunch of things, and then the real ones no. And I don't think I'm a real one because I don't understand it. Do you guys?
I'm not sure what that means.
Oh, I know, but you guys
see?
don't, so.
Because you're a real one?
I'm not telling you, though.
Well, Sly, can you just let us in on what that? I want to be a part of the club.
Lindsey wants to be a real one.
I
She
want
wants
to be a real one.
That was $5 chat. So.
And then we have Taboo's Tidbits also coming in with a super chat. PHNX does it the best. Y'all make the recap super interactive. Major love. Hashtag Girth and the Amoebas.
Best band name ever.
Girth and the Amoebas.
Girth and the Amoebas.
Amazing. All right, guys, we are about to round out our show. Before we get to our final topic of the evening, anything else from tonight's game?
I have a favor to ask.
Yes.
Can I round up the show? Can I finish off the show tonight? Because I have something very, very special.
You can't.
Okay.
You can round it.
Okay.
I thought you meant you wanted to have the very last moment. You wanted to
But like, are we
steal the
still?
ahoy hoy.
We're still doing the bracket,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're just at the end.
Do we
when
do it or
sign
do
off.
we save it for tomorrow?
We can save it for tomorrow.
I don't care. In the chat, do you want us to do a bracket tonight? Let us know. You can decide.
You got
Or
about
tomorrow.
30 seconds.
Or tomorrow.
We
Yeah,
can do
you
it
got about
tomorrow.
30 seconds.
We really have nothing to talk about tomorrow, so we might as well go ahead and save it for tomorrow.
I mean, that's fair. It's
I
up to
wouldn't
you
be
guys.
opposed.
Well, then, hey, you know what? Jacob, are we ready? Okay, so
Okay,
listen.
then we're doing the bracket tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to do
Yeah.
the bracket tomorrow.
2 p.m. live.
I will say this real quick. We've had something in our pocket for quite a while, and as we sign off on this show, and listen, we want to say thank you to every single one of you for donating to this chat tonight. All this money goes to the Ryan House, and this is Lindsey's. This is Lindsey's baby. She really wanted to find this charity, and she wanted to contribute to this charity. So this is the first one we're going to do of many, many more. But we've been holding on to this thing forever. Our guy Megan Rand did a song for us.
Yes.
And we were going to debut it tonight, and that was the whole plan. So as we sign off, you might see us for a little bit, then you're going to see an end screen, but the song is fire. It's about 1.5 minutes long. We love you. We thank you so much for joining us tonight, and that's all I got.
All right, so you heard it. After we say goodbye, which is going to happen right now, make sure you hang tight so that you can hear the song from Mega Ran. Quick reminder, If you have not become a member at gophnx.com, now is a great time to do so. If you sign up for a membership, you can either get your first month for 50 cents or you can get a t-shirt of your choice for free from our locker, which we all have different variations of t-shirts on right now that you can pick up in that locker. If you're already a member and you just want to grab a new t-shirt, our Point God t-shirt is still available. We've got an MVP 1 t-shirt available now. So check it out if it's been a minute since you've looked at our locker. You can follow me on Twitter at LindseySmithAZ. Oh yeah, that's right. We just launched hats.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
You want to look like the twins? Go to PHNX Locker, buy one of the hats. They're fantastic.
That's not a selling point, Espo.
I mean, there's all kinds of different ones. I'm not a hat person, so you guys explain. Like, we've got, like, what? Snapbacks, fitted, like, what do we have?
Dad hats, golf hats,
We got our guy back here, Shane with the white hat. There you go.
Also, no beanies yet. We'll get there.
I need a beanie so bad.
But we have all sorts of hats. If you like hats, these are spectacular. Under the brim, we got our logo. There's all sorts of cool things on these hats. Check them out at phnxlocker.com. Get your hands on it. You'll love them.
Yo, let's do it.
You can follow me on Twitter at LindseySmithAZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And, of course, you can follow Espo at Espo.
DJ Father, spin that shit. Let's go, baby. Wait.
One last super chat. Kevin, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Ahoy, hoy. Here's Mega Ran.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and they ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsey, Gerald, Espo. Saul pass the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always on the job, my team move like the mob. Turn the beat on, I throw it down like DA on the live. Best combo since KJ, Marley, and Charles. If you squat, just sitting on the chat, get involved. Rhymes say it's got flavor. Known to shine greater, glide like Tom Chambers in Bulls versus Lakers. Off that pick, I'm Devin Booker. Bringing the hot take straight out the pressure cooker. Highlight plays, stand up guys, taking the shot. When the game is on the line, I'm always on time. Power meets finesse, living with no limits. We ain't finished. PHNX. Power meets finesse, living with no limits. We ain't finished. PHNX. What? Yeah. Shout out to Saul, always ready to ball. And my man Gerald, putting opponents in peril. Yeah. To Lindsey, never flimsy. You dig me? Yeah. Espo, the whole US know who's the best though. Hey, we ain't finished. PHNX. We ain't finished. PHNX. We ain't finished. PHNX. We ain't finished. PHNX. Yeah.